Hey everybody, I'm back. Same day. It's still May 2nd. Hot as hell outside. I said, let me come in. Let me cook because I'm in such a good mood. I hope everybody had a blessed day because I'm surely having a blessed day. God favors me. I'm sure God favors many of us. But I feel highly favored today and I'm in such a good mood that I'm going to make chicken and dumplings from scratch. What I did already, let me bring the phone around and show you that I used, let's see if I can get this over here, boneless chicken thighs. I cooked them up, sauteed them down, and I use a little cayenne, salt, pepper, some garlic. That's usually all you need when you want to season. Or I put a little paprika in it as well. As you see, I sliced it up, put it to the side. The bottom drippings, I added 4 cups of water into the bottom drippings of the pan, and I made my own chicken broth. Yes, everything is usually made from scratch when I make it. If not, then I was missing something and I had to, go back to the old school way. Also, what I have going on now is the vegetables that go in it, which is the onions. I use red onions. Red onions just make everything taste good. Celery, carrots. What I did was I bought a bag of frozen soup vegetables, and then I added extra carrots and extra celery, and I'm sauteing that now. I'm gonna let that cook down for a while. I want it very tender because this is one of those quick chicken and dumpling recipes. Now, while all that's cooking over here, I have my flour. This right here consists of flour, baking powder, salt, 2 tablespoons of butter. So you got 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. You have about 1 cup of flour. And I just added 2 tablespoons of butter to make it crumbly so I can get that texture. And I'm going to add almond milk. This recipe, usually when I used to make them, the recipe itself, it required that I use whole milk. I used to put whole milk in it all the time to make the dumplings. But I don't drink whole milk anymore, so I drink almond milk. Unsweetened almond milk is the best one to go in any recipe when you're making like a gravy or anything like that. If you put in something like you're making an apple cobbler or something like that, for me, I would add the sweetened vanilla almond milk, but you can do that too. So I'm going to add almond milk to this. I also added a teaspoon of thyme. Thyme in dumplings enhances the dumpling, and then when you add it to the chicken and the broth and stuff to make the whole chicken and dumpling come together, you'll see the difference that it just pows in your mouth. I also add a little black pepper into the dumpling mixture before I make it into balls. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as everything starts coming together so you can see me add it to the pot all at once and then the final result. See you in a little while. Okay, guys, I'm back. Okay, these veggies are great now. They've been sauteing. I say leave them on until you're tender, how you like them. I like my vegetables to be tender, at least tender, cooked and tender. I don't know about some people, how they want to crunch on everything. That can be for peppers and onions, but everything else I want to be able to cook them down as much as possible until they're really good. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flour, because this thickens up your broth like a gravy. This is what chicken and dumplings is. It's like a gravy. So you just throw that right in there, mix it up, make sure it's coated real good, and then what I'm going to add next is a 1/2 cup of the unsweetened almond milk. And then the homemade chicken broth that I made. Just pour that right in there. Look how good that looks. They got that little cayenne pepper in it too at the bottom. You're going to stir it up for a little while. Look how good that's looking. Man, that looks delicious. I know. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to let this come to a boil. Once this comes to a boil, I'm going to let it simmer with a lid first. Let this actually simmer with a lid. And yeah, it's coming along. Put the lid on it. I can't wait. Got the chicken waiting. It's resting over here. Mixed up my dumpling batter. So what I'm going to do is take pieces off of this, like 1 tablespoon sizes of dumpling. As you can see, it's a little patty already, you know, which is good. I'm just letting it set, letting it rise. You can see the thyme in it. It smells wonderful. So I'll be right back one more time for the finish. Okay, everybody, now I let it simmer for a little while, but I still want it to come to a boil. But right now, I'm adding all of the chicken. As you can see, I still have some chicken broth, which is great because the more the merrier. So I'm just going to add this chicken to this pot. It's looking so good. Oh, I didn't slice one piece, but that's okay because I can take care of that quick with my big chef knife. My husband bought me a real chef knife set. He's always thinking about me. He knows I like to cook. He likes to eat. So I don't mind cooking for him, you know. Don't have to ask me for that. So I added the rest of the chicken. Oh, I need you to take a look at this. This looks so delicious. Honest to God, it looks so delicious when I stir it up. You can see the cream to the sauce. So I'm going to let this simmer on the stove for about an hour. I really want the juices to get all up in the chicken before I add the dumplings. Also, I separated my dumplings. So my 1 cup recipe comes out to about 16 tablespoon size dumplings. And I'll be smashing them just a little bit, like a little biscuit. Just push them down a little bit, not a whole lot, before I drop them in at the very end. It only takes about 8 to 10 minutes for the dumplings to actually cook. It's just a simple recipe, like I said. It's just flour, 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. You can use kosher salt, any kind of salt you want, not Himalaya pink salt because that's real salty. Also, I put a teaspoon of thyme in it and a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 cup, yeah, or 1/2 cup. I don't even remember. 1/2 cup of almond milk. Yeah, it doesn't matter. As long as you can add a little bit by a little bit. Some people can use water if you want. If you're, you don't want to use milk at all. Just put a little bit, add a little bit. The colder, the better for the dumplings to come out. They won't be so dense. I love doing it.